I was pickled in crap.
Oh yeah, the new Jolly J book coming out. We got new artwork. Of course, Ryan Holmes here with us as well. And it's the nerdy news, the first one of 2020. And Bar asked me about Jolly J, like when's the next issue coming out? And you've got the artwork already, huh?
Yeah, MegaCon. We will have issues 1 and 2.
So MegaCon that's in Orlando.
Yep, that's April something.
Okay. April something.
Hey, we'll get there when we get there. Hey, if you go to MegaCon, you go to MegaCon. You'll find that date. People are serious.
I will tell you, out of everything we did last year, MegaCon was my favorite.
Yeah, we had a lot of listeners and a lot of people, and it was just so cool to be able to have the books out there. And we're going to be previewing them there, so that's going to be really cool for us.
Do you know what kind of booth you got?
It's going to be the 104.1 most likely.
The same thing.
We'll see. Good. We don't. They always screw us at the last minute. So
it was good though last year.
Well, that's because we were on it.
Yeah,
we were on it. But we're going to have a new booth set up. We're going to order new stuff. It's going to be really cool.
I got to tell you, so when we went out to Comic-Con in San Diego, that was big and it was awesome and everything. Yep. But something about MegaCon, because in MegaCon in Orlando, people dress up, and it just seemed to be more fun.
It's more cosplay. More people are there to have fun. San Diego is a media event. People want to see celebrities. They want to find out new stuff. They want free stuff. They're not collectors. They're not really comic book. The majority of them are posers. They just claim to be comic book people. The people who come to MegaCon, Dragon Con, New York Comic Con, these are comic book people.
Yeah.
These are people who want to buy books. These are people who are interested. They're excited. They know the histories. There are people. And San Diego's more about, hey, let me see a celebrity.
Yeah, right. And then speaking of celebrities and also, MegaCon and a lot of these people, in the news this week was Lou Ferrigno about him, becoming a sheriff in New Mexico. But you said he already was a sheriff.
Yeah, Lou.
Why does this make news then? If
I think slow news day. I don't know. I mean, Lou has always been about law and order. He's been a cop for a long time.
I had no idea.
He's one of these guys. He's probably one of the most misunderstood celebrities in the world. He's really a family guy. I mean, he's been married forever. Him and I, it was a very weird thing when I first met Lou about 9 years ago. We were having dinner, and it was one of these weird things because I used to watch the Hulk, and I forget that that Lou Ferrigno and the Hulk are not the same person.
Right.
And we're having dinner. We're talking about our families. And he said something. And I called him out on it. And when you call somebody out that big, I really didn't think about getting my ass kicked.
Because he did not, because we've interviewed him as well. And it's not like he has gotten small, since the Incredible Hulk. Like, he still is a big guy, and he must be in his 60s.
Oh, he's big, but he's healthy. He looks better than we do. He knows more about health than I ever want to.
100%.
And I remember when we used to do a lot of conventions, he would come up to me in a bar, and I could feel, he put his hand on my shoulder, and like part of his hand would be on my left shoulder, the other half would be on the right shoulder. And it would really freak me out. And when you turn, but he would go, "Hey, Jeff, could we have a drink?" He was a very low-spoken guy, and we would talk. It was strange how we both had the same relationship with our fathers.
Yeah.
And we would talk about it, and he would talk about, how it adjusted our lives, and we would talk about our, it was a very weird thing because we were very close.
Well, he comes in town, we got to get him on the air.
Yeah. He wouldn't care.
Yeah.
He would absolutely do it. And somebody said to me, "Well, I thought he's deaf." He has implants, so he can hear. He can hear everything he needs to hear. And but I remember having a dinner with him, Lou Ferrigno, and Gil Gerard.
Excuse me.
And bless you from and. It's just sometimes you always forget what celebrities are there. And I remember he introduced me to Ernest Borgnine, who was a really famous guy.
I remember him.
And all the cast from Buffy came over, from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And my big problem is this: sometimes I don't know their names. So the only thing I know are their
character name.
Their character names, and some of these transactions are very weird for me, but I'm used to it now.
So what's happening here in January 2020 in the nerdy news? A lot of nerdy stuff going on.
It is. We are in the, how can I talk it? We are in the golden age. Yeah. I don't know what they would want to call it. We are in the golden age of geekhood, with streaming media, with so many different shows. And all these streaming platforms are trying to get every show they can, get people in, and they keep dumping this on us. And it's fantastic. I mean, I'm thoroughly amused by what we're able to access now, from old shows to new shows. And we were talking on the radio show about Dracula.
Yes, it's on
Netflix.
It's Netflix. It's just Dracula. I started to watch a little bit of it, and I was like, it's going to be too dark for me. I don't really want to watch it. And then my wife, who's a paramedic, had been working all week, and when she's sitting around waiting for people to get hurt, she can watch Netflix. And she's like, Russ, you've got to watch Dracula. It's awesome. So yesterday I said, okay, fine. I sat and watched it with her, and it really is Dracula reimagined, and it's a lot more real, and it made me feel more like, okay, yeah, Dracula would be the king of the damn monsters from the Universal monster movies or whatever, because he's a brutal son of a bitch in this one.
It's smart Dracula,
yeah,
which is unsettling for me a little bit because the acting is so perfect. And my buddy Jamie Arrakis, who's like number 2 at Jeff Johns' company, he calls me up and we're talking, and he goes, "Are you watching Dracula?" I'm going, "What are you watching Dracula?" I had no clue.
Yeah.
And he goes, "It's done by Moffat, who does Stephen Moffat, who did Doctor Who and Sherlock."
Yeah,
and I was, oh, I need to be watching this.
Yeah.
And I watched the first episode Sunday night. I got off the phone with him.
What'd you think?
I was thoroughly amused by it.
Yeah. Well, amused.
Fantastic writing, fantastic acting. It's dark. It can be a little gory. There's some tough scenes in it, but it is so smart that I'm happy with it.
And some comedic things.
Oh, there's some moments in that you're just going
with the. Well, I don't want to give anything away, but yeah, when he cuts the head off the. I mean, there are some funny things, but
there's a lot of heads removed in this chapter by the end of it.
But Dracula is a mean son of a bitch.
This actor is fantastic, who plays Dracula, and I don't know what he's in, but his name is Claes Bang, believe it or not.
See, the thing is back in the day when they used to say like Dracula was the king of the monster movies, the king of the monsters. I'm like, wait a minute, all Dracula, they always just showed him like being more about more romance, and love and all this, and
pretty.
And then he would just bite you on the neck, a little bit of blood on your neck, but not this one. This one is like they suck the life out of you, and he gets better, and then everybody else gets all. It's really done well.
Well, yeah. Well, Dracula wasn't turning everybody into Draculas. He was murdering them for food.
But then some people would become vampires
if he wanted them to.
If he wanted them to, right? Yeah. I didn't remember that part. But
you have to drink his blood after he drinks your blood, and then you actually have to die and then come back as a vampire.
I don't want to be douchey because I want to. I want to segue for a second because something happened to me last night that I think was important.
Vampire bit you on the neck?
Yeah.
Kind of like I got bit by a vampire, basically. My daughter and I, as she gets older, it's hard for her when she becomes a teenager. So we're not really sharing the geeky stuff like we used to. I mean, we used to go to every Marvel movie. We went to the Marvel Marathon, which was 13 Marvel movies. But we don't do that anymore. And I walked
How old is she now?
She's 14, and she's at the kitchen table, and she studies really hard. And she's sitting there, and my wife's going, "Yeah, we have a problem." I'm like, "What problem could a 14-year-old have?" She goes, "Her teacher took 2 points off her exam because the question the teacher asked was Abraham Lincoln a vampire slayer, a vampire hunter?"
And no,
and she of course wrote no.
Yeah,
and he said no, he is
no.
So I sat down with her. I said, and she wrote this full argument how she wants this 2 points back, and she spent 2 hours writing this essay on why she should get these 2 points back. And I respect my daughter for fighting for something like that. I'm impressed by that. And she goes, well, Dad, what do you think? I said, well, first off, let me make this clear to you. You can't hunt anything you can't prove is not real. You can investigate. Mm-hmm. But hunting implies that you have the ability to kill something that you can't prove exists.
What was the teacher's thought process? I mean,
he obviously there was a movie. There's all this other stuff. I've written a lot of vampire comic books. So I know a lot about, I would say I'm in the top 0.1% on vampire people. Mm-hmm. I mean, Dracula means son of Dracula, which means son of the dragon. And it came from the idea that they had this small kingdom and all the people around them were much bigger and stronger. So they had to freak them out. So they would like cut their enemies' heads off and stick them on poles.
Well, that's the real Dracula.
That's the real Dracula. Yeah. Dracula, the son of the king was Dracula. Mm-hmm. But the idea is that it meant to scare people. And when they wrote the book, it was like they created all these myths and everything else like that. But when Bram wrote the book, it was based on that. But it was a myth.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Right. And there's folklore and all this other stuff. But the idea that I signed one of my books to him, and I said, based on that philosophy, he could also have been a hunter of unicorns.
Yeah.
And I said, you are absolutely going to give this to your teacher. And she goes, he's going to kill me. I said, say your dad lit you up for an hour and a half arguing over how that answer is absolutely, your answer was absolutely right.
If the question was there a story written about Abraham Lincoln being a vampire?
That wasn't the question.
Then the answer would be yes. But was Abraham Lincoln a vampire hunter? That's a definite no.
No, it was a 2010 novel that was made into a really crappy movie.
Yeah.
And the truth is that he never was this. It was a rewrite. I do this stuff all the time, but I couldn't imagine going into a classroom and doing something like that. My daughter's like this super A student, and this brought her grade down.
So what happened when she argued it?
We'll find out today. I will give you the post, but it was so weird that I'm spending an hour and a half trying to discuss vampires with my daughter.
Now, will you go in and argue that with the teacher? For 2
if
points?
she doesn't get those 2 points, I'm not that parent that goes to school. I get invited.
You know what, though?
I get invited to go do that, but I might.
Something? If you do that, your daughter will never forget it. I think you do it. I think you do it just to show her you love her and just to show her that you got her back.
She's not too fond of not being, and my daughter's fantastic, but I don't think she likes when I steal any thunder.
Well, it could be seen as stealing thunder. She's wanting to handle this herself.
Yeah, she might because she had this. What
do you think, Ryan? Should as a dad, just to show her that I got your back, baby, should he go and argue those 2 points? Because it really is ridiculous. We know that Abraham Lincoln did not really hunt vampires.
Yeah.
Should he go and argue it, or should he let her handle it herself?
I think you should take this up with the school board and get this teacher fired.
Well, it's a private school, so I take it up with the endowment.
Well,
fund.
Yeah, do that.
But did you see the question?
I saw the question.
So it was. She didn't read it to you wrong, and the question was Abraham Lincoln a vampire hunter?
No, he was not. A fictional version of Abraham Lincoln was a vampire hunter.
Bingo.
I said, and the truth is, you can't hunt something that you do not have the actual ability to kill.
Oh, well,
you can investigate
to kill.
You can look around.
Well, no,
I can carry a gun and run through the woods. That doesn't make me a hunter if there's nothing in there to kill.
I thought you were going to say you can't hunt something that you don't know existed.
That's what I said.
And I did a lot of that when I was a teenager.
You investigated.
I was hunting for it. Well, I didn't know if it was real.
Yeah, technically, you got to be able to kill something.
Really?
I mean, if you wind up shooting something, hey, listen, I went to woods to just hunt indiscriminately. But if I'm hunting something that doesn't exist, then I'm just investigating.
If you're hunting for Bigfoot.
Well, Bigfoot could exist. I mean,
I agree.
I could bump into it, but there is absolutely zero proof that vampires, the way they're written in books, exist. And I've really studied this, and I've empathized with vampires when I've written them. I've had a lot of famous vampire characters.
You know that's what's great about this new. By the way, back to the Dracula on Netflix is you don't really. I haven't found myself sympathizing with Dracula. He's just a bastard.
Ooh. What I've enjoyed about it is there were a couple lines in there that, the one thing about Moffat is they make sure they give you the good lines all the time. Like, for example, Van Helsing is a nun, and she looks at him and she's investigating what's going on, but the way she says things is so condescending, and so mean, and you like her because she's good. But now I haven't got to issue 2 yet because I don't want to binge it. I want to appreciate it.
You can't binge it. It's the
first 4.5 hours. If you can watch The Irishman, you can watch 4 hours and a half of Dracula.
First episode of Dracula is an hour and a half. So I felt like I watched the whole movie.
They're 3 hour and a halves because that's the same way he does it with Sherlock, where he did all 3 seasons was 3 episodes, 3 episodes, 3 episodes. And it's actually catchy with some of us because, wow, that was a movie. And it's like seeing the sequel and then the sequel, but you watch all 3 of them, and I guarantee we're going to be left feeling pretty good.
The gimmick with Dracula, Ryan, is that, in order for him to come into your house, you have to invite him into the house.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder where they came up with that, little caveat, that little rule. That doesesn't make any sense, does it?
It's a Bram Stoker.
Because he would
Stoker, not Stoker,
go in and kill everybody all the time.
So you
got to feel safe.
Oh, so he has to use his charm to get you to invite him in, and then it's because you feel safe with him, and then he ends up biting hell.
Well, it's like a demon. It's the idea was when Bram Stoker wrote it, he put all these myths together, sunlight, all this other stuff, because a villain needs weaknesses.
Yeah.
Because if he's the Superman, how are you going to take him out? So they put these things together. And I remember that the letterer who lettered one of my books that I wrote called Gabriel Tempest dragged Bram Stoker instead of Stoker. And
that's a whole different cat together.
So I go in, I'm doing a convention at Dragon Con in Georgia, and this woman comes up to me to take a picture and effing bites me. She fanged me.
She bit you.
She fanged me. She leaned over and went lack. And you'll notice every time I take pictures with somebody, I always have an escape clause. I can always like slide out because that woman. And
why did she bite you?
Because she was mad that they spelled the word Bram Stoker instead of Stoker, and she came all the way in from Holland or somewhere else to bite me. Wow. And at first, when she leaned over and she had the prosthetics in, they were real. She actually got them made, where they're not her real teeth. And she fanged me, and for like a second, I go, "Do I like this? No, I don't like this."
That's literally against the law.
Oh, yes, it was a battery. It's a harmful and offensive touching. Yeah. I did not like it, and but it did teach me a lesson. Be careful, fans are tough. Fans, they think of this stuff, but when you watch Dracula, it feels like a movie. It feels like it's being done in this way.
And what's good about it is normally when you see Dracula movies or vampire, it's like, oh, they got the 4 puncture wounds. No. It's like if
a chunk out.
It's like if you chewed. Yeah, I mean, it's a little more realistic. It's like, and okay, why is it that Dracula can turn into a wolf?
Oh, it's it was funny in my books. I actually used that, and I said, well, if you spend too much time as a wolf, that's how you become a werewolf.
Oh.
So I actually was able to say that they're actually not that they're related, but that's why they're hated, because they can't control themselves. And if they exist, then vampires exist. So that's why the feud exists.
Yeah, I thought they were going to have a werewolf pop into this one because he becomes a wolf at one particular point, and I didn't know what the connection.
I mean, there was a sea of wolves at one point. They had like 5 or 6.
It's pretty good.
It is well worth watching.
I probably will watch the second episode today, but I think what I might do is go and watch 1917 today.
I got to go see that, but I can't see it today.
Yeah,
I was going to see it this weekend.
Because it's nominated for an Academy Award.
I hate war movies. I served,
I don't like them either.
I served too many years in the military. I fired too many weapons.
Yeah,
I have no desire to watch people die trying to help their country. And there's always the bad guy and the good guy, and they have to follow orders, and they never do. But I mean, it just makes me sick. But so many people have said, Jeff, the acting and the writing are so good.
I'm the same way. And you know who's in it is Benedict
Cumberbatch.
And I just got finished because I know everybody else is on the Star Wars train, and God bless you if you are. That's your business, whatever. I like Star Trek. And so I just yesterday watched the Star Trek that's got Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan, and he is so good at it. And that's that J.J. Abrams all 3 of the Star Treks I thought were really, really, really good movies, but they just didn't get for whatever reason, didn't catch fire like any of the Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm not. The last Star Wars I saw, we had the premiere. I got sick. I couldn't go. I went on my own.
What you think?
And
the one that's out now.
I would say it was better than the last 2, but that's like saying the last this is better than the last moldy fruit I ate.
Yeah.
I found the characters. I don't really like the character. I don't really like the actors who play the characters. And I know they're trying to wrap it up and they go, oh, look, there's Leia. Oh, look, there's Luke. Oh, look, there Han Solo shows up. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that, every time they do a flashback or they show somebody, it's not the interest. When you compare that to the Mandalorian on is it Netflix? What is it?
It's Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Everybody loves that.
I loved it. I love Baby Yoda. I bought it. I know it's not supposed to be called Baby Yoda. I love myself some Baby Yoda.
Everybody loves
Baby Yoda. I love all the characters. I love Kara, the woman who plays the mercenary.
Just see where they signed a deal with Build-A-Bear, and you can go get a Baby Yoda Build-A-Bear.
Oh, damn right. I'm going right now. Right after this, I'm going on.
Man, what kind of a deal? I mean, you're an attorney. What kind of a deal would you have to sign with, Build-A-Bear?
It's for typical licensing.
That's a hot commodity.
Well, it's hot now, but since there's no other, since Build-A-Bear, other than there's not another, Build-A-Bear doesn't really have any competition.
No.
So it's not like they're going to have, oh, well, guess what? It's not like Burger King and McDonald's fighting over things. It's a single entity. And I'm sure they already sell enough of these, but I don't know what I'm sure they already have Luke. They already have Leia. They already have Star Wars. The question is, how do they add this in? I don't know. Marvel is always tough with their licensing, but as long as your stuff's not made in a sweatshop, they're pretty good.
They're good with that. Okay. So their
contracts are very specific. All Marvel and Disney contracts specify that you have to use a non-sweatshop factory. You can't, when people go, "Oh, Marvel builds their stuff in sweatshops." No, they can't. You actually have to show your factories.
In other nerdy news, I see a lot of this on social media, and I don't really know much about it. Morbius. What is Morbius? Ooh. Who is Morbius? What is it? And it's Jared Leto, who I think is awesome. I liked his version of the Joker. Nobody else did. But he now is this Morbius character, and I don't know what that is.
It's a sequel to Lesbius.
Morbius was a villain in Spider-Man. I think it was 101. I think was the first issue, and it actually is the first non-Stan Lee Spider-Man villain.
Oh,
which was Morbius, and it was done by I forgot who wrote it. But
what's his gimmick? What does he do?
He's a vampire, but he's not a traditional vampire because
he's a living vampire.
He became it medically. He was trying to cure a blood disorder, and he became a vampire. But he doesn't have the sunlight stuff and all the stuff. He has powers. He looks like a vampire, but he can't transfer it to somebody, and he doesn't have the limitations.
So
but he still has to drink blood to live.
He's got to drink blood to live, and can he turn into a bat?
No.
Okay.
None of that.
Okay. So if you're going to do that, then do you have to have Spider-Man? Do you have to have?
That's a good question because they did. It's funny. A lot of people sent me the trailers for this. I mean, I love doing the nerdy news. I love being involved. I love being on the radio. It's really cool. But the minute the trailer drops, I've got 67 messages with the Mobius attachment on it, and that was cool for the first two. But once my box was being loaded up with all the previous, I got it. Maybe I should just immediately say when I see it to post something.
Got it. Yeah.
But the preview was fantastic. I loved it. I think Jared Leto is one of the top 5 male actors in existence right now.
Yeah, he's great, and I liked what he did with Joker. So, is this part of the Marvel, like the MCU?
Sony. It's part of the Sony MCU,
but
Marvel is also contributing to it.
Okay, so the Sony, that means you got
Sony, Spider-Man, Venom. Remember, Sony signed a deal, and this is if you were the guy at Sony at the time, you should just commit Harry Carey. Because this is what this guy did. They said, "Hey, go out and get Spider-Man." He goes out and gets Spider-Man and says, "Hey, listen," goes back to the company. Well, they want to give it all for $5 million. He goes, "We only want Spider-Man." Well, they're willing to give us their whole universe.
Oh no!
For like twice as much for everything we have. And the guy goes, "Yeah, we're not interested."
So we just want Spider-Man. How much they pay for Spider-Man?
I forgot. But the opposite was only like twice as much to get every character.
Oh my god!
So I wonder if Sony's going
kicking themselves.
But the deal was this: with the Spider-Man deal with Sony is that they get all Spider-Man and Spider-Man related characters. So that's let's say they want to do a Green Goblin movie. Let's say they want to do a Sandman movie. Let's say they want to do anything that deals with the villains. I don't think there were any major heroes that came along with that deal. But they could do, for example, one of the characters now in the Marvel Universe is real big is Spider-Gwen, which was Gwen Stacy from a different universe who becomes Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that character is taken off. And for example, when the animated Spider-Man movie that just won the Oscar for Best Animated last year, she was in it and a couple characters.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. And that did really the sequel's coming out in about 2 years. So I'm looking forward to that.
It's a long time to make that.
Hey, at least they're not drawing them anymore.
Well, who actually got all of the Marvel characters? That would have been it's not Sony, it's who?
Well, Fox wound up getting Fantastic Four in that universe. And then Disney bought Marvel for $5 billion.
Man.
$5 billion. Sony could have gotten them for like nothing.
But if they would have gotten them, they wouldn't have done as good of a job as Disney did with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you got some really quality movies because Disney did it, and the Sony ones,
well, you can argue a couple things. You can argue were the Spider-Man movies good? The first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, I enjoyed that.
I liked them.
I enjoyed that movie. The first Fantastic Four, I liked it. The sequels, not so much.
Yeah.
But the hard thing is that when you look at movies, like we were on the show today, and we had one of the comedians, Vince, came on, and Vince was talking about how Blade, which was a Marvel character, a lot of people don't know that Blade is a Marvel character. That how it affected him, and how it really was the jump started the Marvel universe and movies. And I didn't want to look over and go, yeah, what about Blade 2? Yeah. What about Blade 3? Blade 3 sucked with their version of Dracula.
Yeah.
And that was the one where it was saved because Ryan Reynolds was in it. And I'm like, how do you murder that movie when you have Ryan Reynolds? But that's because
Ryan Reynolds has been in a lot of bad movies.
Yeah, but
then
not action movies. Well, you're right. He has cracked up.
Green Lantern. What's the one where he's a paranormal detective?
R.I.P. or something.
I tried to go back and be hard headed and go, I'm a DC guy. I'm going to watch Green Lantern. And it can't be that bad. And I got halfway through. I'm like, oh yeah, no, it is that bad.
It's pretty bad. Yeah. And they had some good actors.
But you don't like the general premise of the Green Lantern.
I do not. I think it's stupid.
Yeah, so you're not gonna.
You're not gonna like it because Jeff Johns is coming out with a new one. He was the guy architect for all of DC stuff over the last 10, 15 years, and went to his own company. He's going to be doing a Green Lantern.
Oh, really? Well, look, if they do it right, that's fine. I mean,
But these are the guys that go, hey, he's going to be a Green Lantern, but do we have to use the ring?
Oh.
I'm like going, well, that's his.
That's the only thing he does.
That's a Hollywood douchebag. Hey, can he wear high tops and be an Asian girl? Yeah, we're doing that.
That's not gonna be good.
Are they doing another Shazam?
Yeah,
good.
Yep, they're doing Shazam 2. Star Wars 2 is the last Star Wars up to about 500 million domestically. Obviously it's gotten enough good feedback, and one of the issues they're having now is that the Asian girl in people are complaining she did not get enough screen time.
The Awkwafina?
No. In the new Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see it.
I forgot what her name is. Yeah. And it's not like she had a big role in the last one. It's like a supporting character, but people are upset because a lot of the Star Wars people don't like her. And they're going, oh, they're being racist. And it's like, I'm not being racist. It's just a stupid character and the acting was terrible. In my opinion, I'm not saying that she's not a good human being. And I'm not saying people should attack her directly. But you can't complain that people don't like a character because they don't like a character.
Sort of a diversity hire.
You can't force people to do this. Now, here's the problem.
But her whole character is like, you're right, though. It's like, okay, I see what you're doing. It's inclusive. The thing, but this character's kind of like,
it's a dud.
It's
a dud. And you walk around and
I'm all for diversity, but put them in a lead role. Like put anybody, but don't make up a random character and then be disappointed later when it doesn't go off.
And I'm not saying that I don't want to say I'm a looks oriented person, but when I go to a movie, I don't want to see myself in it. I don't want to see like Spider-Man. I would never cast an actor who looked like me as Spider-Man.
Right.
I just wouldn't do it. And I would go, listen, you got to put asses in the seats. So what happens? You hire a bunch of good-looking people. We watch a bunch of good-looking people, and it goes like,
But I gotta tell you, you look at like Adam Driver. That dude is not a good-looking dude, but he's a great.
Women like guys who look. He looks like Keanu Reeves, and they stretch his head in a weird way.
Keanu Reeves, if he was tortured.
Yeah, that's what they say. They say it would look like when a child would draw a picture.
He's
of Keanu
not
Reeves.
Classically handsome, but I like him on screen. Isn't that weird?
Other than this movie, I just didn't. I don't. The dark.
How does he do in this one? He's just.
I don't want to be bad, but I just didn't think it was good.
Yeah.
It's like they keep rehashing, and I did nod off twice in it, and I can always tell how bad an action movie is if you can actually fall asleep in it.
Yeah.
And if you're bored and suddenly you realize, where are we now? And that's the problem. And I'm hoping that when they re-jumpstart it, they do like they did with like a Rogue One or a Mandalorian, where they do it in a cool way. Like at the end of the Mandalorians, I'm not spoiling anything. They have these 2 stormtroopers. They're not stormtroopers. I forgot that they call them different things when they ride the vehicles. And they're sitting there and they got Baby Yoda in the bag, and they're really griping about how long they have to wait, what's in the bag. They start shooting stuff that they just want to shoot. And it humanizes. It allows me to empathize with these guys in the suits in comparison to just watching a bunch of them get plowed down all the time by laser fire. But what the hell do I know? I mean, I just pay to watch this stuff. You know what's interesting? The Joker, as we talked about this before, and we knew that he was going to get nominated for the
Joaquin Phoenix, and 11 nominations for Joker.
No Marvel nominations.
Have you ever seen his movies? Have you ever seen Joaquin his interviews?
His interviews. He's an odd dude.
He looks like he wants to just. I wouldn't be surprised in the middle of the thing he just pulls out a gun and shoots everybody. He just does not seem like he has got his. he looks like he's about an inch away from going postal.
And that's why when I and look, I'm not saying he didn't do a great job. He did.
He did a real good job.
But he didn't play it too far from the way he is. like he pretty much is the whatever name they gave the Joker. What they give him?
Yeah, something like that.
Arthur Fleck.
Arthur Fleck. Yeah. He's a lot like that dude. It's not like he was doing a lot of acting.
Well, they made a lot of people were writing really bad comments about him, about how he treated the director, here's the thing. If it's a performance and you're trying to get it out of yourself and you're an artist, people have to put up with that nonsense because you are clearly this is your process. And he apologized because he was doing an interview with the director. He goes, "Yeah, there are a lot of times I got to apologize to Todd. I get in character.
Todd Phillips.
Yeah, I do things and I say things that I shouldn't say sometimes.
Yeah,
and if that's what you're trying to do, if you're trying to go to this dark place, you don't quite know what's coming out. Like Christian Bale got lit up because somebody in the Terminator, they got audio of him yelling at the lighting guy.
I heard it. Yeah.
Okay, first off, screw the lighting guy. I'm trying to do something and you're running around making noises in the background when I'm trying to stay in character. I'm trying to do this. And I'm the one they're paying to see, not you. So when you're annoying the hell out of me, and this is what I learned on the set. I did a Miami Vice a long time ago. And it was me and Don Johnson in the scene. And I'm walking in one direction, Don Johnson's walking in the other. And every time Don Johnson passes me, he tries to give me a shoulder. And I take the shoulder, and they have to do like 40 takes. It's bad. I should have just probably cowed down to it, but I didn't. And I kept hitting him as hard as he was hitting me. And they called a cut, and I'm sitting with my, it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm exhausted. And Don Johnson walks over and he goes, "What the hell is your problem?" And I said to him, "Nothing at all, Mr. Johnson." And he walks over to somebody else, yells at him, and gets the guy kicked off the set. Well, Eddie almost walks over and he goes, "Why would you take that?" I said, "Because I'm getting paid $40. He's getting 200,000. Means I know what part of the food chain I'm on when I was on that set, and so does everyone else. So that the sound guy is actually griping back at him, at Christian Bale, trying to tell him what to do is nonsense.
Well, Joaquin Phoenix, when he got his Golden Globe, he even said, "Listen, I don't know why you put up with me. I'm a pain in the ass." Like he admitted it. I did go back and watch Joker again because I told you when I watched it the first time,
I couldn't do it.
I'm like, man, it's kind of depressing, but I want to make sure. I'm like, maybe I missed some stuff. Went back and watched it again, just as depressing. And then to make myself feel a little bit better, I went back and watched The Dark Knight. That's the one with that's
not fair. You can't compare those.
And Heath Ledger was so much better as far as I'm concerned. Like that's so much better.
They let it be fun.
It was fun.
It was fun. It's not fair to compare the two because
it is. It's two interpretations of the Joker.
He didn't get to pick the script. You think he said, "Hey, listen, I want you to rewrite the script and make it funny"? I mean, there's a scene where Heath Ledger's walking down the street with the bomb.
Yeah.
They gave him jokes. He's supposed to be funny. The problem is this Joker's not supposed to be funny. He wasn't funny on stage. He's not funny off stage.
When he makes the pencil disappear. I mean, that's just that's some funny stuff. That's good.
That's the writing. So putting Heath Ledger in Phoenix together, it's completely two different portrayals of actually two different characters because the Joker in the movie we saw is a fantasy of the Joker. It's not real.
So I was just reading something actually last night, and they're talking about the upcoming Batman movie, the one that's going to have Robert Pattinson in it. And they said that they have not confirmed nor denied that there may be an appearance of Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker in the new Batman.
See, this is where the failure happens. The failure happens is because the director of this movie created this as a one-off. And Todd Phillips said that this is not in the DC universe because and we've talked about this before, most people don't realize the Joker is not part of the DC universe.
You mean this movie?
Yes, this movie.
Joker.
It's part of the Joker's fantasy to make him look good. Mm-hmm. He's rewriting his origin to be Batman. He's talking about he was abused as a child. In other words, Batman lost his family. He was physically abused. He makes excuses, and even in the end, where the Joker's the hero at the end of this movie, they make him a hero. Mm-hmm. He's a vigilante hero, basically, which is exactly Batman. This is the way Joker wants to be thought of. He wants to write his own origin story. It's not a DC movie where it's supposedly real.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were talking about that and talking about how I guess Batman comes out 2021 in June, I think June or July, and they're filming now. So they keep trying to get photos and stuff, and I guess they did have some photos on set, but you haven't seen Pattinson as Batman yet.
I hope he was able to put on the weight. They said there was a problem with him because of his physical body type, that it's so hard for him to put any weight on. And when you do these characters, you got to bulk up a little bit. And Michael Keaton didn't have to, but that's because it was a different time. And it was like, okay, here's a nice suit, and the bat suit we're going to make monstrous on you. But, now they want the actor to be, they want, it's like when Thor walks around. When Thor takes his shirt off, the ratings go up. People are happy.
Unless he's Fat Thor.
No, Fat Thor's better.
No, women hate Fat Thor. Oh my God. So many women complain about it. I get it. I mean, it'd be like if Linda Carter showed up as Wonder Woman, was like Fat Wonder Woman. And that's nothing wrong.
I want a thick Wonder Woman.
There's nothing wrong with
thick woman.
There's nothing wrong with being overweight or stuff like that. But if you're a sex symbol, it's kind of hard.
It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Hey, are you excited about the new Wonder Woman that's coming out? Have you seen the trailer?
1984.
I think it looks awesome.
The trailer's fun. It's at least I didn't like the problem with Wonder Woman. The first movie is I'm not big on the World War II stuff, and I thought it took a lot too much from the Captain America movie. I thought it. I felt it was like it did take the origin story, then if you put those movies together, they're very similar.
You think so?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Basically, and I just looked at it. I was like, I said,
well, you got the Nazis. Yeah, you got them.
Well, they're fighting World War II. The heroes fighting World War II. They go out on missions, and you're fighting alongside regular people. A lot was taken from it.
I don't like period pieces.
You don't?
No, I'm over it. I'm over going back to the 80s for the nostalgic feel for everything.
Well, that's just to get people of that age group to want to see it. You know.
I mean, I'm seeing Bad Boys. We're renting the theater for Bad Boys tomorrow night.
That's right. You're gonna see Bad Boys tomorrow night.
So I'm going to go with 170 of my closest friends.
That's cool. I saw an interview with Will Smith with, I think it was Jimmy Fallon. And he was like, listen, now there's been a lot of movies I told y'all that you're going to love it. And when I knew you really weren't going to love it, he's like, there's been some stinkers.
Well, how can we trust him?
And he said, but this one is really good because Martin Lawrence is on fire. And it does look like it's going to be pretty funny.
It's always funny because Martin Lawrence put on a little weight.
Yeah.
And it's like watching actors age, and I think it might be true. I think you put on a little weight, you might be a little funnier.
Maybe.
I mean, like some actors lose weight and they're not funny anymore.
Right.
It's really hard for me to take that. Like Jonah Hill, for example.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill looks good, but he's thin now, so I don't know if I'm going to like him.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if I could. Like Chris Farley was always paranoid. They said you got to get healthy. He goes, you don't have to get healthy. People don't think you're funny anymore.
Chris Farley lost weight. It wouldn't.
Belushi was the same way. Belushi felt the same way, and
I'm gonna get fat.
Hey, that might work,
I
saw what when they shaved your beard, I was like going, that's what's underneath there?
I know. He's actually a good-looking guy under that nasty ass beard.
That's why I grew the beard in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I thought it was kind of funny. I mean, when you look at it, you're just going, when they shaved your beard off, I was like going, oh, he's such a baby face underneath this.
Did you see the guy that bought the T-shirt that has all your beard hair on it?
That was the only one that sold. That was the one that raised $250.
Hey, congratulations!
Yeah,
that's awesome. But it's a gross shirt.
It is gross. I mean, you look at it. It's because he used green glue to make boogers. I don't know.
It's pretty gross.
I don't know what it is about hair on the face. I'm fine with it. And as soon as it hit the floor and fell off my face, I'm like,
looked like pubic hair. It looked like
that's what was on your face.
Yeah.
That was beautiful when it was on my face. It'd flow in the wind.
Hey, what other?
We saw the Batmobile last week.
We did see the Batmobile.
Come on, we saw the Michael Keaton Batmobile at the Beacom.
It's big. It's a big sumbitch too.
The Beacom auction.
It is super big. What other Marvel movies are coming out? I think I saw that there's a new Thor coming out. Correct.
Well, that's about 2 years. The movies everything coming out this year.
So Chris Hemsworth, right?
Yeah, but it's also they're bringing Natalie Portman back, and she's going to play she's going to play a female Thor in it.
Oh,
spoiler, not like everyone knows.
Yeah.
Actually, this year what we're looking at is we got Birds of Prey, which is the Harley Quinn movie in February.
See, I'm afraid, and look, I'm a DC person, but I don't think she's going to be able to carry an entire movie with that character.
I don't know if they can carry it with the story. I think she's a fantastic actress. I just don't know how good the story is going to be.
In Suicide Squad, she was the brightest part for sure. But now it's a whole movie. You don't have the Joker in it. You don't have a Batman in it. You don't. It's just her fighting whoever I don't know. But they're in Gotham City. I don't know, man. I've watched the trailer several times and I want to like it, but I feel like I'm trying to force myself to like it.
Marvel's kind of short this year. I don't see it being the big Disney year that they had this year. I think if they do a third of their money, they're going to be lucky.
Who they got? They got Black Widow.
They got a lot of nothing going on. They've got Black Widow in May, which looks more like a secondary Marvel movie than a high-end movie.
I agree. And now I do like the idea of the Russian.
It feels like an Ant-Man on the level of Ant-Man.
The Russian Captain America thing.
Yes.
That's the only thing that has me interested. I do not care about her as Black Widow. Like, it's boring.
And they have Eternals, which is like the future. It's a complicated. They're like mutants, kind of.
Yeah.
But most people won't know who they are, so most people won't be excited about it. And that's November 6th. So there's only really two Marvel movies this year, and one
that's odd too, because there are so many characters.
Well, New Mutants. Fox has two of the movies basically. They have New Mutants, and then you have. But I mean, it's just not. It's going to be a slow year for superheroes as far as Marvel and DC go.
Will they ever try to do like a Disney version, a good version of the Fantastic Four? Because that was I know that was Stan Lee's favorite comic book.
Oh, well, they own it again because Fox had the rights to it, so now it's all at home at Disney now.
And that's really, when I look back, that's one of the ones that I had more comic books of, not more than Batman, but then like the second one, I did really like the Fantastic Four, but it really has never transferred on film that great because Mr. Fantastic's sort of silly. Mr. Stretchy Man is sort of silly.
Mm-hmm. The first one didn't bother me. I'm not talking the one that Corbin put out, because not the crap one that was straight to video, because they were trying to preserve.
That was terrible. Yeah.
Well, they made that on $1 million.
Gotcha.
With the only intention of saving the rights, because they only had 6 months to do it, or they would lose the rights.
The last one that it came out with, where Michael B. Jordan was in it, I think.
Yeah, that was terrible.
See, okay, half of it was really good, and then the second half of it sucked ass.
The origin.
They were on like a good roll, and then it just drops off.
Supposedly the director in the scene he did this movie beforehand, a good indie film where everyone's flying. I forgot the name of it, but they gave him this huge blockbuster movie, and it was filmed in New Orleans, and supposedly he hid in a tent and wouldn't come out. And it had a bunch of monitors and wasn't directing anything, and he would like pass orders from this tent. And then he supposedly destroyed the house he was in, and then they had to go re-edit the whole thing
to
try to put it together.
It started out good. Yeah. It really did. And then as soon as Dr. Doom came in, it got dumb.
I had a buddy of mine on the set. He said he's the weirdest set he ever worked on. He goes, it just wasn't being run, and they were changing dialogue, they were changing scripts as they're going on, and that's never good. When you're in the middle of something, here's a new part of the script, here's new this. We're doing a new scene that we didn't do before, and actually, it just becomes a little hodgepodge.
When I think about it, like in Fantastic Four, like even up to that halfway point, it didn't bother me about Mr. Fantastic being Mr. Stretchy Guy. That part wasn't that bad, so they actually could have pulled it off. It's just like the second half of the movie, they screw it. It sucks.
Now we can open up on something, because we're probably going to come to the end of this soon.
Yeah, we got 3 minutes.
What world do I live in where I have to give a damn about Burt Ward's penis?
I know. Poor Burt Ward. He finally gets
star on the Walk of Fame
from Batman and Robin. That's what really made me love Batman when I was a kid. And Robin gets his star on the Walk of Fame, and he does an interview, and I guess he mentions that back at the time, people complained that I had a bulge. I forget who it was, like the Catholic, somebody complained that he had a bulge.
The Catholic Decency League.
Yeah. So he took these pills. They gave him these pills to take to make his penis smaller, and then he took it for like 3 days because, you know what, this is not a good idea.
First off, why? When somebody walks up to you, hey, Bert, let me tell you this. We're having a penis problem, so we need you to take a pill to make your penis small. I don't care what job I have. I said, hey, listen, we're going to tape this thing through my butt if I need to. I'm not taking penis.
But brother, he was 17 years old. And he was now Robin, and he was a heartthrob. He was on all the teenage
so tape it down.
But he was like, I can't lose this job. I got to. Yeah, you're right. You could duct tape it.
I would have gone here, and I would duct tape it. I maybe use something a little more safer. But I mean, the point is, you could tape it. You could do one of those. What's that movie where the guy puts it between his legs? I mean, you could do that.
But they never complained about Adam West's penis. like he was good as Batman.
I like my penis.
They were in the same. They were in the same costumes, really. They never complained about Adam West. I wonder if that bothered him.
Adam West got upset. I mean, there was always this weird homosexual element, pedophile homosexual element to the Batman and Robin character that come out all the time.
That's ridiculous.
It's
that
weird.
was just his faithful ward.
His faithful.
Hey, I have adopted a boy, and this boy's going to live with me.
This guy had more people living with him than Michael Jackson.
Do you know what? That's what, when they first did the show, they were like, okay, we're going to do it like this. And then they're like, listen, you can't have a boy living with Bruce Wayne, so we got to get Aunt Harriet in here. So
what was wrong with just having the butler?
There was no Aunt Harriet in the comic books. They had to put it on the show. That way there was a woman in the house, so you didn't have three men, a butler, and all living together, because they thought it was very homo.
Really? They thought it was a gay issue.
100% true. Yeah. That's why they had Aunt Harriet, who really never showed up.
So they bring in an old lady that nobody wants to have sex with?
What's that?
So they bring in this older woman that nobody wants to have sex with?
This is make the butler like a lady.
No, Alfred was a man that used to be a badass.
But like a maid be cool. Well, like she hangs out and helps out.
They can't call it the maid. What do they call those women who take care of the manor? They have a special name for them. They don't call them maids. They call them
a winch.
They don't call them wenches.
Okay.
They call them wenches.
WhenYouNeedUs.com. It's WhenYouNeedUs.com. If you need to talk to Jeff Kaufman about anything that is legal, he can definitely help you. What's your specialty?
Personal injury.
Personal injury.
We help everybody.
But you do everything.
But what we do is I give free advice on
doo-doo. You said doo-doo.
I give a lot of free advice. I probably answer about 200 to 300 legal questions and everything's some license.
That doesn't make you a lot of money, does it?
No. But you know something? Give more than you take. Good karma.
You do that. You're a good man.
But our books are available at bigcitycomics.com.
That's right.
And you get a bunch of free crap when you order off the website.
Yeah, bigcitycomics.com. If you want to get Jolly Jane, the one that I helped Jeff Kaufman write, you can get that, and there'll be a new issue coming out soon.
Issues 1 and 2, MegaCon,
to find out what's going on in the series of Jolly Jane. If you want to see Ryan Holmes this coming weekend, you're going to be performing.
I'll be performing at Porky's Comedy Club over in St. Cloud. You can get tickets to that at porkyscomedyclub.com or my other website where I give wenches away, WhenYouNeedUs.com.
And make sure you listen to the Monsters of the Morning every morning on Real Radio 104.1. Hey, thanks for checking out our nonsense.
Later. Sure.
I said your line, sorry.
Oh, don't worry about it.